hospitality. When I was in the bar business, I probably hired and trained over 500 bartenders. And I'd always try to tell them, look, if somebody's screaming at you about broccoli or because they're waiting on their table, it has nothing to do with the broccoli. They might be getting a divorce, their mom might have cancer, you have no idea what's going on in their life. Nobody's that upset about broccoli, so you're supposed to be the professional, don't take it personal. It's actually an opportunity to show them some empathy and grace. They'll pick that up, they'll sense that, whether they say it or not, or whether it's reflected in the tip. That's your job, to be a pro. So I really bring that kind of mentality to what I do now. Sometimes I go to an appointment and, you know, just like a customer at a bar, sometimes they don't want you to talk to them. So then they come in, no, we're doing our own packing, we're good. We just want you to move the big stuff. Cool, got it, you got it, here you go. You know, whatever it is. Sometimes, like I'm moving this lady Liz right now, she's going to her, she's 90 years young, she lives by herself. She's moving to her family's apple farm back up in upstate New York. And she probably calls me 2-3 times a week. And her son lives around the corner over at Sun City Center. I don't know why he doesn't come, it's not my business, but she's always calling me because she's like packing herself, and there's all these trip hazards, so anytime I'm in the area, I'll come swing by, say hello, move the boxes out of the way so she can get from her couch to her bed to the kitchen without like hurting herself. So it's just little things like that. And when I got the 3 guys moving about a year ago, I mean, Mark and Samantha are the owners, the 35th year in Tampa, and they're the easiest sell ever. I worked for another moving company. I didn't appreciate the way they did business, long story short. Anyway, I'm telling Mark why I was leaving when I was interviewing with him, telling him some stories. And he said, I mean, he undersells himself. He goes, yeah, you never would have heard of us because we don't advertise, we don't have commercials, we don't have billboards or anything like that. We've been in business 35 years because we rely on repeat business, referrals, word of mouth. When I asked him, how do we take payments? Do we do deposits? Do we do, no personal checks like this last company I was with? He goes, no, we'll take anything, no deposit required. I don't want anybody's money until the job's 100% done, they're 100% satisfied. And he wasn't saying to be a sales guy. I mean, he just means it, you know. So show you some pictures real quick. And then I tell people too when I'm on appointments, I say, just call the company. You'll talk to Greg probably, he answers the phone, he's 77 years old. He retired 15 years ago. He spent about 40 years in a professional industry where he did something with car dealerships. I forget what it was exactly. But he sets me up on the appointments. All his notes are meticulous and perfect. Or you talk to Dawn, she's like the nicest lady ever. They've both been there at least 7-8 years each. And they just bring professionalism to it. And then you just talk to them and you see what you mean, or you see what I mean. Anyway, I don't know how to get this thing on the. Anyway, if you guys want to pull out your phones, I'll give you a fun activity. If you want to catch a scammer, my mom sent me an article a couple other ago. So this is a competitor of ours was moving somebody in across the street from where I live about a year ago, and I'm coming home from work. I'm like, what the heck, why didn't you call me? But they were moving in, so they didn't know who it was. But anyway, the movers were unloading and they were going inside the house, and so I ran over and took a photo and then ran inside just to see how other people do it. So you can see my head right there taking the photo. So look at the dresser. You got tape right on the dresser. So we take the tape off, we're gonna take the paint off. You got a night table not covered, kind of a half-ass blanket job. This is the dresser drawer that's tossed back there. Cushion's not covered. So I mean, you gotta keep dogging. The dog's got fleas, now you got fleas in your truck. These are like little things. Once you get into the business, you realize it's not just like put stuff on the truck, take it off, don't break it. There's actually so much more that goes into it. Just like anybody's industry, once you get more. So anyway, when I got hired, they're giving me a tour of our storage facility, and I'm looking around. I'm like, what are these living rooms set? And, this is like Mark is so old school. Him and Samantha, I'm like, what's this? He goes, oh, this is where we train guys. 2-3 weeks of training after we, background check them and all that. I'm like, is this on your website? Do you tell anybody this? He goes, no. Like most people just hire whoever shows up, like felons, people on drugs. You have no idea, like hiding pillows, hiding jewelry. I'm serious, it happens. And so anyway, I'm like, can I take photos of this and just show it to people? Like, thank you. And then, so anyway, this is where they show guys how to, pack, wrap, stack everything, blanket wrap, shrink wrap, climate control storage. So, you can see the difference. You protect the doors, protect the floors, all that kind of stuff, clean truck. But if you pull out, let me show you this. This was protectyourmove.gov. This is what, I'll show people this when I'm on an appointment. This is how you can find out if somebody's a broker. The main thing you wanna know is just don't go with a broker. My mom texted me a article a couple of weeks ago from Tampa Bay Times talking about moving scams in Florida. You could probably just Google it and it'll pop up. But it was basically talking about 22% of all moving scams in the country come from Florida. And you know, part of the reason people love Florida is because you can do anything you want here. Downside of living in Florida is people do whatever they want. So you gotta kind of watch yourself. So this is the Department of Transportation's website. It's the government. So this isn't like a review board. You just click search mover database, and I'll show people how to do this on my phone when I'm in appointments with them, especially the elderly who get some crazy price. I'll just put it in something like North American. You search it, and then you get a bunch. So just click on one random one up here where it says in red, they are not authorized to move household goods. That means they're a broker. So then if you go back, you click on another one. This is the other North American. They're also a broker, but you can see here how many trucks they have. So that means they're a carrier. But down here is where it gets real fun. You can see how many times they've been sued in court each year. And then if you go over to here, you can see like a hostage situation. That's when they give you one price, and then they pull into your driveway, and then they say, yeah, we're gonna need another $5,000 to take it off the truck. People either get their gun or they call the cops. Cop's gonna come out and say, well, I'm sorry, you authorized them to take the stuff, they didn't steal it, so it's a civil matter. I can't do anything, so you're gonna have to sue them in civil court, and while you're trying to get your stuff back, they're charging you for storage. So these are like, especially, one thing I always ask when I go in is, how long have you lived here? I'm really trying to figure out, like, do you know anything about, if you just moved here 2 years ago, then maybe you know a little more than somebody who's had their house for 30 years. If somebody's, been here for, lived somewhere for 30 years, then, they might not know exactly what they're getting involved in. So, yeah, you just click on these, you can just see it. But that's just a great asset. How we doing? 30 seconds, all right. Any questions?
How about pricing?
Yeah, pricing, again, if you have a small move, hourly quotes are fine. If you have a large move, like if you're going from here to the Panhandle or Miami or interstate, you want a flat rate. Because hourly can get out of control quick if you're on an hourly. If you're just going from Tampa to St. Pete, hourly quotes are probably okay. Again, it just depends on how many guys, how much weight you have. Do you need one truck or two? Not everything's weight. Like, you guys can figure out your weight. I'll tell you how to do weight real quick. One of these chairs is about a 5 cube, like 5 cubic feet. So you just take it. So take that chair and go in your house and take, an end table is about the same size. So it's a 5 to a 10 cube. Your kitchen table, like one of those tables over there with the black stuff, that's probably, assuming it's not a fold up, but assuming it's a real table like at your house, that would be like a 25 cube. You just add up your cubic feet, you times it by 7, that's your weight. So you can figure out kind of on your own, just shot putting it, just one truck, 2 trucks. It's not so much about the weight when you're doing local moves, because we don't have to go to a weight station. It's more about volume. If you have a bunch of patio furniture, like wicker stuff, you can't stack stuff on that or it'll damage it, so you might need 2 trucks. I go on appointments all the time and people are like, well, this isn't very heavy. This isn't very heavy. Like, we don't really care about the weight. It's more, is it 1 truck or 2? If you're going interstate, then the weight doesn't matter because you have to go to the weight station to give you a ticket. You have to pay a tariff on the weight, so that matters. But mostly, if you're just moving local, the weight doesn't really matter.